PlayStation 5 for about a year now, and I have to say that Sony, yeah, when it comes to their, game-wise, yeah, they got amazing graphics for those games. But for me personally, honestly, the games story-wise and gameplay they fall kind of short. I'm not gonna say those games are bad. They're not bad. I mean, I know a lot of people that love Spider-Man and love Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. I know people that love those games. I have friends that love those games. They're not bad games. They're just not games that are super enjoyable for me. Anyway, once in a while there does come a game that personally I love. And one of those games happened to be the game Scarlet Nexus. Scarlet Nexus was a game that was released in June 2021, and it is a JRPG. And honestly, I immediately fell in love with this. I mean, these two characters that you start out with, from the title screen, you do have the choice to choose either between Yuito's story or Kasane's story, which is really cool to have that choice to start out with. Anyway, I chose the Yuito story, and just his path, he joins this group, which are basically the scientific officers of high-tech Tokyo City called the NSF. And what these people do is that they're people born with these powers. What Yuito has is psychokinesis. So as he fights these aliens that are invading Earth, he can just use his power to use gravitation for himself and shoot things toward these aliens for attack. The combat in it is amazing. It's really fast-paced, and it is definitely one of the fun things I love about the game. I will have to say, the game is weird. It is really going down the weird track. If you're not a fan of anime, I don't think that you'll like the fact what the enemies look like. I mean, some look normal, and others are just these plants. They look like plants wearing high red heels. So, if you have no idea about the background of anime or anything, I think you'll just think this game is weird. But you might not and really enjoy the fighting in it because, well, I know I did. I love the story of this game. The deeper you go, the more intense it gets. I mean, at one point, Yuto finds Kasane killing his own father, and it's she tries to kill him. So you end up going into a battlefield with her, and Yuito activates this new thing called the minefield, which is this super neon gray orange area where you can do double the damage to your enemies than you can normally do. But you can't stay there very long or you're gonna die. But the battle in it is amazing. It's super fun. The battles are really epic in that area. And the reason that you find out that Kasane tried to kill you is that a future Yuito told Kasane in the future that Yuito in the present needs to die. It can be a confusing game. It definitely deals with the events of past, present, future, and time travel, but it's really fun. The game itself has a Persona 5 essence to it. I'm not gonna say that they're exact copies of each other, because they're not. I mean, yeah, you build this team and you go out and explore the area, and as you go through the combat, one of the great things about it is that not only can Yuito use his power of psychokinesis, but he can also have the ability to borrow his teammates' power. I mean, there's some that use electricity, some that use fire, some that create a human shield for you. There's one power that you get later through the game where her ability lets you to be able to create other clones of yourself for battle. It is really cool. And also, your hideout is just really sick. Like, if I had a hideout like that, I would feel rich, man. But the reason that I say it's not like Persona 5 is just the way that it operates. Like, through the hideout, you can bond with your teammates by going on different, like, side missions with them. Like, there's one girl that wants you to go get flowers with her, or there's one boy who just wants you to train with him, who's Luca. I really like him. He can teleport, that's his power. It's really cool. But it's cool because also once you can give each other gifts to strengthen your bond, and they'll use the gifts that you give them to decorate the hideout. They'll also give you gifts to strengthen your bond with them. It's definitely a team building game, and that is one of the greatest things I love about it. Also, during some of the bigger alien boss battles, or regular battles, Yuito uses his psychokinesis to rather do some amazing abilities. Like, you have to time it right. Like, the aliens will reveal their weak point, and you'll have to hit a combination of buttons. But these combinations that Yuito can do sometime is just really cool. Very impressive. It's like Legolas skill from Lord of the Rings. It is awesome to see, like, how he'll slash and stab and everything to kill the alien. I liked it a lot. Also, there are points in the game during the levels that aren't super rushed, so you can chill during it. Like, not chill, just explore the area that you're at. Like, I love it. Like, each area kind of seemed like a dungeon temple from Legend of Zelda. I mean, close to the beginning of the game, you start at this abandoned hospital just trying to get these people's memories, and honestly, it felt a lot like the Forest Temple from a Legend of Zelda game, which is really cool. And then later on through the game, as you're figuring out how everything unravels, how everything is connected to each other, you go to the Snow Mountain area, where ice beasts are, which is really cool. And one thing I liked about the Snow Mountain levels is that Yuito can use his power to grab a piece of metal and use it like as a hoverboard. So you'll be flying down this valley, just running into aliens, crashing into stuff, enjoying the game. It was awesome. As I mentioned before about Kasane killing Yuito's father and then trying to kill him, the game is very, like, it has you questioning the loyalty of your allies. I mean, like with Kasane, there's also a point where Yuito's best friend Nagi, he gets brainwashed basically, and you end up having to kill him, which is really sad, but he was trying to kill you first. The battle with him is amazing. It's hard, like it's in the middle of Techno Tokyo, but it's a really fun, but it's a really hard game. Really hard boss fight, but totally fun to do. Usually, I'm not the biggest fan of time travel stuff. Like, Back to the Future, it's a good movie. Avengers Endgame, that was a great movie. But I feel like, I don't know, for some stuff I feel like it doesn't work. And that's how I feel about video games. Like, adding time travel to video games feel like it sometimes does work. But for most of the part, I think we should leave that alone. But this really does work for Scarlet Nexus. I mean, there's one point where, playing as Kasane, you go to the past to where Yuito is a child to meet Yuito's mother. And you figure everything out about Yuito's past and why he was being experimented on as a child. And you eventually take Yuito's mother into the present time for Yuito to actually meet her, which was actually really cool. I thought that aspect was really cool that was added into it. So this game kind of implements the thing of My Hero Academia with quirks. I mean, like 80% of the population in My Hero Academia has quirks, 20% doesn't. That's the same with this. How in My Hero they're just called quirkless, but in this they're called duds. And we learn from Yuito's mother when she's brought to the present that Yuito was a dud, and he was taken into the hospital and he was given those powers, which later in the game you find out that they're gonna fade, but there's a point that you have to learn that Yuito can survive in the future. You just gotta do these tasks, and I'm sorry, Yuito and Kasane go into this area where they have to untangle the fragments of the past to let the future unfold. That's a really cool part of the game. And at the end, it's really sad because they gotta say goodbye to Yuito's mother again because she can't survive in the present time. It's a really sad clip, but really cool to watch. It's like the cutscene with Yuito and his mother is like with Tony Stark and his father in Endgame. It was really cool to see, and a really cool cutscene in total. The final boss of this game, Karin, is really fun. I mean, he is able to use all these different powers at once, which you have to do throughout the entire game. So during this boss battle, it's you fighting him, and you're switching between powers all the time, like fire, electricity, making clones of yourself to battle him. And, it's really cool. There's this one point where he uses these statues of aliens to, defend himself. So you gotta time everything right in order to actually be able to, do Karin damage. It's really cool. He was probably one of the best boss fights in a game on the PlayStation I've played, just because it's so fast-paced and so action-packed, and just has the feeling like if you don't beat him, the world's going to end kind of vibe, but it's awesome. Also, the ending honestly has a kind of a sad vibe to it. I mean, you do beat Karin and he does help you with time loops and everything, but he reveals that the only reason he's doing all this is to help revive a friend that kind of was killed a long time ago. And what happens to Karin and able to actually unravel stuff from the past to be brought into the present ends up with something not too good. Well, he ends up disappearing, basically. I'm not afraid to spoil it. This game came out 2 years ago, so it's an amazing game, so if you haven't played it, I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't spoil anything. I bet most of you guys knew that's what happened to Karin in the end. But if you didn't, I'm sorry. If you did, no spoiler. Anyway, I thought the ending was sad with what happened to him. It's kind of cool how the game mentions what each main character is gonna go through, how it wraps up their story. Since Yuito through the second half of the game is struggling with his powers because he's losing them. He says he's gonna end up retiring from the NSF, but he's still gonna help people in his own way. And then you got Kasane, who's gonna travel to the moon to help people, I guess. I think that's what she said she was. I don't know. Her plot was weird. But yeah. Also, there's chemistry between these two characters, and if you know about Japanese culture, at the end there's a red string between Kasane and Yuito's hand, and apparently there's no romance with these characters, but with a red string, if you know what that means, the two are destined to be together. But this game was amazing. I love this game. I give it a 10 out of 10. Action-wise was amazing. I only beat Yuito's story. I need to play Kasane's story. It might be a little different. The second phase, the Yuito squad and Kasane squad come together to fight But her first phase, I'm interested in, so I gotta play it. Anyways, it is an amazing game, and I love it. One of the best games on PlayStation. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. I just have to say once again that I loved this game. Scarlet Nexus was a thing of beauty. Super fun to play. It was challenging, but not too challenging. A great storyline to it. If you love anime games based on science fiction or anime games in general like JRPG, definitely check out Scarlet Nexus because it's amazing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and leave a comment of what story you liked better, Yuito or Kasane. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Have a good day.